Well, anyway, Matt, thank you again for 10 years at Pointer Rental.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome.
So, what did you do before coming to work here?
Well, that was about 10 years ago,
Yeah.
so I guess I was starting my family before I
Okay.
came here, or right
Mhm.
as I was coming here.
Mhm.
No, I worked. So when I was 16, got I was interested in computers, and I had a job in high school writing software because I knew a guy,
Oh,
and
wow.
so I went and I was just fascinated by how programming worked, and so I started working and. Um, Went right out of high school, started
Mhm.
working after a semester at A&M, which of
Okay.
course I love.
Yeah.
But
Go Aggies.
yeah, so then I started doing inventory management just totally randomly. We did. So there was a company called the Beer Gas Company, and what they would do is they had these. So you go to a pub, you order a beer, and it's
Mhm.
the syrup mixed with the CO2 or the
Okay. Yeah.
whatever the gas is.
Mhm.
So those canisters have to be delivered and picked up and
Mhm.
taken and accounted for. And some of them are customer owned, some of them are rented. And so I wrote custom software for that company
Mhm.
that managed their delivery drivers and all that stuff. So I did that for about 5 years.
Mhm.
And then after that, I was working for a fabric company, which also had like 300,000 rolls of fabric
It's
in
a
a
lot of fabric.
warehouse that they had to manage the inventory on.
Mhm.
So yeah, inventory management. I don't think I realized that till about 5 years after I was at Point of Rental. I was like, I'm an inventory management guy.
That's what you've been doing. So,
Yeah, that's what I do.
so how did you hear about Pointer Rental?
So Evan just like found me. I think I had put my so at the fabric company, they were like
Mhm.
poorly managed, and after not receiving a paycheck or two,
Uh-oh.
I was like, I should probably put my resume out there. And so it's the
That's
first time I'd ever made a resume. I threw it out there, and then Evan found me, and he talked me into taking less money to work here
right.
than I was being offered at a Rackspace or whatever they were, SoftLayer at the time.
Gotcha.
So and turns out that was the right choice.
Yeah, definitely. So when you first started working here, what was your general job role?
So Evan was hired to, build a web-based version of Elite, right?
Mhm.
And his first hire was Robert, who had worked with him,
Mhm.
and then they found me. And so I think all of us started within like a month or so. And so
Oh,
essentially,
wow.
I was brought on to build Essentials with them. And so yeah, I was just a you know senior developer writing code, building Essentials.
Yeah, definitely. So what are you doing now, 10 years later? I mean, Essentials looks like it's pretty well built. Are you still working on that or on
Yeah.
other products?
No. So I think after 5 years, they kicked me off and said, "Hey, Matt, we want you to wrangle up all of our mobile apps and build one mobile app." So
Mhm.
so I was given that directive, and so I kind of started POR1.
Okay.
Um, and then right at about the 4 year mark, they're like, you know what, we're going to kick you off that, and we're going to put you on e-commerce and payments and other things. So I've started to float as I've been here for a while,
Mhm.
and so I am doing that. But I mean, really what I do is
Yeah.
just like a lot of the people who have been here for a while, you know a lot, and so
Mhm.
everybody asks you questions, and so you kind of just people, you know. I think I could spend most of my day on my cell phone and be just as effective. So.
Yeah, well, I can't relate. I don't think people come to me for advice just yet, but maybe after 10 years they will. So obviously 10 years is a long time. So I'm sure you have a lot of things that you enjoy about working here, but what's like your favorite thing at working at Point Rental?
I mean, the fact that I'm here at 10 years and I still love working here, I think that's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, to be honest, it doesn't hurt that my dad works here. It doesn't hurt that my best friend works here. It doesn't hurt that some of my other friends work here. I think I've
hmm
got a cousin and a brother-in-law who work here. So
Yeah.
I have slowly been recruiting all the decent people that I know to work at Point of Rental. So.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, literally getting to work with your friends is kind of the dream job.
Yep.
So going
Don't
out.
don't don't tell my boss that though. They still need to pay me. It's gonna be tough to keep. It's gonna be really tough to keep me. Another year or two.
Yeah. 100%. All right. So, getting outside of work, what's something like a hobby or an interest that you're into right now that you feel like you could talk about for hours and hours on end?
We do not. Yeah. I think the biggest thing I've been into this year is flying. But so I've done different types of flying.
Do your arms get tired? Like, what do you?
No, I work out. So
Oh, okay. No
I've
good.
got
All right.
no. It's So when Colin, if you know Colin, when he got
Mhm.
hired, he did this paramotoring thing. He's like, "Oh Matt, we got to go do this." And I was like, "That sounds amazing." So I did paramotoring with him for a while, and
Mhm.
that kind of opened my eyes to, hey, I can do this. And so this year I found gliders. So if you've ever seen those airplanes that have massively long wings
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just glide, no motors,
Mhm.
I took a flight earlier this year, and I was like, okay, this is my thing. So I am working on getting my pilot's license
Oh,
so I can fly gliders.
that's
And,
gonna be exciting. But I
yeah.
shouldn't go to you if I'm like, hey, I'm going from DFW to like Houston. Would you be able to? Is that
Not yet. I mean, look, if I could do that, I would absolutely love. I mean, I
glide
love
all the way
flying.
there?
Yeah, if my feet are off the ground, I am 10,000% happier.
Noted. That's actually really interesting. So let's pretend that there's a new pointer, whether they be in your department or otherwise. What would be your number one advice that you would give to them?
I think just in general, new pointer or anybody anywhere,
Hmm.
when you go somewhere, um, you know, you tend to think you are here to do a certain role.
Hmm.
But what you're really there to do is make the company better. And I think especially at companies like Point of Rental, um, there's so much that needs doing. And as when you're growing like we're growing,
Hmm.
you know, sometimes the things we do aren't intentional. And
Yeah.
so I think, it's feel the freedom to look outside of your normal, rigor
Yeah.
and fix things, make suggestions,
Hmm.
talk to people, get to know people. I think a really that's that's how it works best at Point of Rental.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
definitely.
opportunities.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I feel like we do a good job of empowering people to, if you have an innovative idea or you
Empowering.
see something, we give them the ability to actually, see that to the end. Like if you have an idea, let's hear it. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Um, so all right, Matt, we're at the final question here at the finish line. Pretend you're sitting up there on the Oscars. You've thanked your agent and everyone to where you've gotten here today. So, who do you think, whether they be a pointer or people outside of the company, that you can thank for everything you've accomplished? Who do you think you can thank?
I mean, gosh. Yeah, I've
I know 10 years is a lot.
it's
There's a lot
there
of
are so I
people,
mean,
but
who's taking care of my kids while I'm at the office, and making sure that they don't grow up to rob you, when they're adults. That'd be my wife, right? My wife is she's everything.
that's
I
a good answer.
love her to death. So I gotta thank Gail.
Hmm.
Gail, you're amazing. Couldn't do it without you. Um, and I family, you know, people here. I think Robert and Evan have played a big part in that. We've
Yeah.
been thick as thieves for the last 10 years. And they've been a part of just about everything that I've done.
Yeah.
Most of it we've done together.
Hmm.
And then Wayne. I think Wayne has just been, you know, we don't always agree with everything Wayne says and what he does,
Hmm.
but he's always there and willing to have conversations, and he'll support you for
Yeah.
just about anything you want to do. And so I think that that's played a huge part in things too. So I'm not a super prolific, thanker, really,
No, no. I
but
think everyone does a good job of following the core values that we promote, and I
yeah.
think that makes it really easy to thrive in a company like this.
You know what? Actually,
Oh,
I would like to thank
a surprise
all
thank.
of you guys because,
Hey.
I think like 5, 6 years ago, we were kind of trying to put together what this would become. And, we're like, this would be great if we could eventually have this. I think Andrew, you kind of kickstarted it. It's been awesome to see the marketing, media, whatever you'll call it, team kind of spin up and all the great things that have come out. So I have, from an entertainment and like just enjoying my life here, you guys have added a lot of spice. So,
Oh, gee, you're
so
gonna
yeah, there
make
you
me
go.
blush. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, Matt, thank you again for 10 years, and here's for 10 more after that, and 10 more after that, and 10 more after
Oh no, no, there won't be that many 10 more. I'm
that.
retiring at some point.
But seriously, thank you.
Yep, nope. Thank you.